Hello everybody, we are back here on the Hunter Call of the Wild. Today was the Expansive Worlds weekly live stream, and Jaxiebeard showed off some pretty insane stuff this time around. Now, first of all, we are going to have a little bit of a flyover you'll be seeing in the background that shows off the different biomes of the brand new Australian Reserve, Emerald Coast. And as we watch that, we are going to talk about some of the notable changes and things that we noticed during this stream. So, the first thing that we noticed is that crocodiles actually will be class 7 instead of class 6. We kind of expected them to be 6 just because of gators. But the crocs are class 7, and I imagine that's because they are bigger. But to be honest, I really thought they would just simplify it and make them both class 6, but I'm pleasantly surprised that they're class 7. It's one of those things where I didn't want them to be class 6, but I kind of expected them to just make them class 6. So seeing that they're class 7 is honestly pretty crazy. It's definitely a very welcomed thing. As, like I said, I thought they would just simplify it. We also did get to see that sambar deer are class 6 and the hog deer are class 3, so kind of about where I would have expected them to be. Definitely not bad. Very similar with the Rusa deer, as that is going to be class 6 as well. So sambar and Rusa both class 6, and then we got the hog deer at class 3. And then, of course, the stubble quail, as you would expect, is class 1 because it is a bird. The next thing we're going to talk about is the 22-250s. So they reveal the 22-250s stats finally. It looks like it is going to be a class 2 to 4 rifle, and it is going to have 3 expansion and 25 pens. So it's going to be a rifle that might get used, but not as much as stuff like the 243. From what I can tell, this thing's probably going to be around the same as the 223. Not sure if it's going to be better or worse, but it should be right around the same. However, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because if you guys remember, right, they are buffing the 223 with this update. So they ended up buffing the 223. So this thing seems very similar in kill time based on what we saw during this stream. I do think they're going to be very similar, but only time will tell. Now let's go ahead and show off an encounter that Jaxiebeard had with a crocodile attacking him. I gotta say, I love the aggression level on these things, because he got attacked really quickly. And also, something else that's really notable to mention is that crocodiles, and I believe also gators, will no longer sink if you have a bad shot. They are going to float up to the surface and go straight back to you. So that's a really awesome and much needed change, and I'm really happy to hear it. But without further ado, let's see this Croc Attack.
Man, I can't do this justice. No matter what I do here today, I cannot do it justice. We're going to spend a little bit more time here in the Crocs, and then we're going to go see about, oh my goodness. Whoa, for the love of Pete. No, I got to run. I got lucky. I don't even know. Man alive, if this is something juicy lined up like that, you can see how fast this happens. He lined me up. He was calling from over here. I need more coffee. I legitimately need more coffee. Well done, devs. Well done. This is the experience that absolutely hooked me on Virhunga when the lions first came out. That feeling of being the prey. It doesn't matter how many boomsticks you have in your arsenal. Man, these things can sneak right up on you. That was wild. I'm actually really glad that happened. It's just not paid actors, let me tell you. What were you? You were a 7, an olive. Fantastic. We get a nice look at this. That's great.
The next thing that was done is Jaxiebeard decided to show us some of the rares of the brand new species. This right here is the sambar deer and the albino and piebald variations of it. Honestly, just so stunning. I cannot wait to try and go after these trophies. I feel like all the rares they showed off were just beautiful. Just probably some of the best we've ever seen, if I'm being completely honest. I am more than blown away. Next up, we have the Rusa deer, piebalds, and yes, you heard piebalds. There is 2 different variations that were shown off right here, and Jaxie mentioned there's even a 3rd. I cannot believe what I'm seeing. Like, this is probably going to be my favorite piebald of the entire game, essentially. It's definitely something I'm going to spend so many hours trying to get every variation of. This right here is the albino banteng, which looks about how you would expect it to. I gotta say, it's probably not my favorite of the ones that have been shown off. I like the Rusa and the Sambar rares a little bit more. However, this does look really good still. This is still going to be a really awesome thing to go for. And I mean, I gotta have every single one of these in my collection because they're just all so good looking. Next up, we have the stubble quail and also the rare for the stubble quail, the albino stubble quail. That thing is adorable. I mean, I'm probably never going to see one. I mean, at this point, I haven't even seen an albino bobwhite quail, so I doubt I'll ever come across this in-game, but maybe I'll get lucky and find one. And if I do, I will definitely be insanely happy. But one thing I really wanted to note is just how tiny these things are. These little stubble quail might be one of the smallest birds in the entire game. They are absolutely puny. Next up, we have some of the hog deer. These are not the rares. Jaxie said he didn't want to show off the rares. He wants us to discover them and find what they look like. So they just ended up showing off these instead. This is just the 4 common and uncommon variations, and they look pretty good. They all look very, very solid. I'm super excited to have the hog deer in the game. It's one of those species where I didn't really know how much I wanted it until we actually got to see it. This is crazy, and it's going to be another cool deer species to go after in Emerald Coast. This map is just a deer paradise. The last thing that we're going to take a look at is Jaxie decided to take a shot with the 22-250 on a hog deer since they are the proper class for it, and it didn't do too bad. I mean, obviously, it's not going to kill them as instantaneously as the 243 would, or the Mosin or a gun like that, but it did pretty decent for the type of round that it is. 22-250 is very similar to 223, though I think a little bit better, so it kind of makes sense. But then something that really surprised me was right here when Jaxie decided to take a shot at a larger animal. And it actually killed it pretty quickly. I was kind of blown away. Now, he did take one shot at this thing before then, but it was a flesh wound, so it didn't really do any damage to it. The second shot, though, hit lung and took it down relatively quick. I gotta say, little bit impressed with it. It's still probably not going to be a main rifle for me, but it's at least not terrible. It does decent. But anyway, that is going to be it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed this look at what they showed off during the Expansive Worlds live stream. All these rares look incredible, and I am so happy to go for them eventually. We will be doing early access on the 16th, so stay tuned for that. And then on the 20th will be the full release of the map. Man, we've got a lot of cool stuff coming up. I am insanely excited. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, as well as leaving a like and a comment on this video. The more likes and comments a video gets, the more chances YouTube shares it with more people, so I would really appreciate it. With that being said, though, thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.